Coming up, we'll deliver a full recap of today's game, including highlights from the biggest moments. Listen to Mike Shildt's post-game comments. Plus, we'll bring you today's play of the game. From the Padres Radio Network, here's Sam Levitt.
We are live from Petco Park on this Saturday night. Final score, the Pirates 5 and the Padres nothing, as the Pirates take the middle game of this three-game series here in downtown San Diego, and it sets up the rubber match of this three-game set tomorrow here at Petco Park. Welcome into our Jamul Casino Resort Padres post-game show. Sam Levitt with you inside the loft here at the Western Metal Building. Hey, player, kickstart your summer of fun with Jamul Casino Resort's Players Party Saturday, June 14th. Score $20 in free play, then enjoy live music, DJs, and best of all, free food. See JamulCasino.com for details and get ready to party, play, and win. Well, a very tough one for the Padres offense in particular. Here tonight, the Padres get shut out on just 2 hits. The mix of Bailey Falter, Caleb Ferguson, Dennis Santana, and David Bednar combined to 2 hit the San Diego Padres here tonight in a game that, quite frankly, you could have plucked right from the 6-game losing streak last week when the Padres offense was really struggling. This looked an awful lot like that. The Padres had a single in the first inning. They had a single in the third. The Padres did not have another base hit after that single by Martin Maldonado in the third. In fact, the Padres had a runner on second base in the first inning. They had runners in scoring position in the 8th inning. They did not have a runner at second base in any other point of this game. Bailey Falter, who we mentioned in the pregame, had been really good against them in his start against the Padres in Pittsburgh. Well, guess what? He was even better here tonight. 6 1/3 scoreless innings, and quite frankly, that's where the story begins and ends for this one here tonight. The Padres offense did not do anything. Just 2 hits. They were shut out. Yeah, Dylan Cease wasn't great. Lasted just 4 2/3 innings, 7 hits, 3 earned runs given up. Bullpen was mostly good. Little bit of trouble for Yuki Matsui in the 7th inning as the Pirates made it 5-0. But put it like this. Had Brian Reynolds hit the RBI single in the first inning to make it 1-0 Pittsburgh, and the Padres had the exact same offensive game, this game would have ended 1-0, and that RBI single by Brian Reynolds would have held up throughout the ball game. So that was the story of the game. Yeah, Cease wasn't great. Bullpen mostly good. Padres fell behind, but you look at it in reality, and the Padres had 2 hits in this game and just had nothing going offensively. And really, the Padres are fortunate, if you zoom out on this series, to be 1-1 in this series right now. Remember, Padres only had 3 runs on 3 hits yesterday, so the Padres have a grand total of 5 hits in the first 2 games of this series, which is hard to believe. That's obviously not what you draw up as an offense. And the Padres got fortunate yesterday. They took advantage of base runners and putting balls in play and some shaky defense by the opposition. All those things, obviously really good pitching for the Padres yesterday. But based on the offensive performances, they could very well be 0-2 in this 3-game series right now. So credit to the Pirates and their pitching staff. Did a really good job. And again, the Padres are shut out on 2 hits in this game. And that is where the story sort of begins and ends from this one, as the Padres will try to win this 3-game series in the rubber match tomorrow here at Petco Park. We'll have more on that coming up a little bit later on. When we come back, we'll have all the radio highlights for you, recap this game from start to finish. We'll go downstairs here from Padres manager Mike Shildt. Much more to do as the Padres fall to 32-24. Pirates improve to 22-37. Our postgame coverage continues after these words on the Padres Radio Network. scoring position against them in the first inning. Xander Bogaerts hit a sinking line drive to left, but Alexander Canario made a great diving catch to save a run. That kept the Pirates ahead 1-0 through a single inning. Falter would get through 3 scoreless innings. In the top of the 4th, Cease got the first 2 outs, but then a double from Adam Frazier. Ke'Bryan Hayes was next.
3-1 from Cease. Look back at Frazier. Now the pitch. Hayes swings, lines it over Cease up the middle into center field, a base hit. Frazier racing around third base. Merrill's throw is on the way, not in time, as Frazier slides in feet first. An RBI single for Ke'Bryan Hayes, his first hit of the series, and the Pirate lead is now 2-0.
That's all Pittsburgh scored in the 4th inning. Cease took the mound in the top of the 5th. Andrew McCutchen led off.
First pitch to McCutchen, swung on, hit in the air, high and deep to left field. Gavin Sheets is back. He's at the wall looking up. It's going to go. Second deck in left for McCutchen. His 4th of the season, and now 1 shy of Roberto Clemente in Pirate history. An add-on run here in the top of the 5th inning. It's 3-0.
Cease went 4 2/3 innings, allowed 3 earned runs. Sean Reynolds finished the top of the 5th inning. Falter pitched 6 scoreless innings to keep the Pirates ahead 3-0. He allowed just 2 singles through 6. Reynolds allowed a 1-out single in the 7th. Yuki Matsui came in. He gave up a single, an RBI double to Brian Reynolds, a bloop RBI single to Spencer Horwitz. The Pirates had a 5-0 lead. Bradley Rodriguez came in, got the final 2 outs of the inning on a double play ball. He pitched the scoreless top of the 8th inning. An inning and 2/3 scoreless for Bradley Rodriguez in his major league debut, so that was certainly a bright spot of this game. Dennis Santana, though, a scoreless bottom half of the 8th inning. David Bednar, a scoreless bottom half of the 9th inning. And that was that here tonight. Not a whole lot more to tell you about the final score. The Pirates 5 and the Padres 0. Final totals in this one for the Buccos: 5 runs, 12 hits, no errors. For the Padres, no runs on just 2 hits and no errors. Again, the Padres dropped to 32-24. Pirates improved to 22-37. Bailey Falter improves to 4-3. He was terrific in this game. 6 innings in the 3rd, no runs, 2 hits, walked 1, only struck out 1. Dylan Cease went 4 2/3 innings, gave up 3 earned runs on 7 hits. He struck out 6 and walked 1. Let's go downstairs here at Petco Park and hear some post-game reaction.
Let's pull up a seat in the manager's office and hear from Padres manager Mike Shildt. Served up by Sin Lee Food, where fresh meets flavor. Find farm fresh produce, bold Asian spices, and gourmet ingredients at 4665 El Cajon Boulevard. Sin Lee Food, the cook's Asian resource.
You guys ran up against one of the hottest pitchers in the major leagues tonight. I wonder, beyond that, probably want to give credence to Falter, but beyond that, what have you seen from the offense the last couple of weeks?
So more about the offense than Falter.
I'd love to know what you thought of Falter tonight.
Yeah, I thought he was good. I mean, he's pitched really well, clearly. Carried it over to tonight. Both sides of the plate, pitches, right? Got some late movement, got some run to his fastball. He's got secondary pitches we talked about before the game. Again, both sides of the play pitched. Disrupted timing, and got guys a little bit off balance. So kudos to him. Add, subtract. Did a nice job. Threw the ball very, very well. As far as the offense goes, listen, they can look at a couple of different ways. Tonight clearly wasn't a night that, is representative of us. But, if you look at 3, 4, 5 games, you can go, wow, it's pretty darn good. You look at, 4, 5, 6 games, you can go, it's not quite us. So I look at it from both lenses. Listen, it's about consistency in this game and the consistency of the quality of at-bats and the approaches. The preparation, at least I know, the preparation is really good. The work before the game, I'm confident in. The, attention to the focus of what the guys are trying to do is good. And, it's a combination of, we've had successes. We've won games. We have a chance tomorrow to win our 3rd series in a row. So that feels pretty good. And then, games where guys have pitched well like Falter did tonight.
What'd you see from Dylan?
Just thought Dylan couldn't quite get into rhythm. That was probably the biggest takeaway. Stuff was good. Just never quite got into that, that consistency of being at a boom, boom, but it was good. And he grinded his tail off, competed his butt off, to get us almost through the fifth, but just couldn't quite get anything going consistently to repeat it. And they were patient, took some good at bats.
What was that moment like when Bradley got that double play? Because you guys are down 5-0. Your dugout erupted. They were thrilled.
Yeah, that's one thing I love about our group is we pull for each other. They care about each other. They pull like heck for each other, and all our players in that dugout have had their first big league moment. And to see a guy come in and be one of 23,400 some odd to ever do it, and get that first double play and threw a bullet to Crony. And, everybody's just really happy for him. It's quite an accomplishment. You good? All right. Thanks.
That was Padres manager Mike Shildt after tonight's 5-0 loss for the Padres against the Pittsburgh Pirates. Sam Levitt back with you inside the loft here at the Western Metal Building at Petco Park as we continue to wrap this one up. Now, look, Bailey Falter, even though he may not be a name just alluding to Kevin Acey's first question there, Kevin's right. He has been really, really good as of late. You look at his last 4 starts, he went 5 2/3 innings, 2 earned runs given up on 4 hits, and then the 3 starts prior to that one, 16 2/3 scoreless innings against the Braves, Mets, and Reds. I'm not sitting here making excuses for the Padres. They got 2 hits tonight. They only had 2 hits against the guy in Bailey Falter through 6+ innings. I get it. But it is true that Falter has been throwing the ball really, really well. So even though he may not be a guy that you think of as an elite pitcher or maybe necessarily even know, bottom line is he has been pretty darn good as of late. So this kind of fell right in that same area for Falter. He was really, really good. And by the way, he was great against the Padres in early May in Pittsburgh. He only gave up 1 run in 7 innings. So you look at it, it is now 13+ innings, 1 run given up for Falter against the Padres this year. So he's kind of had the Padres numbers. Thankfully, the Padres won't have to face him again in 2025. However, you just look at the box score tonight, and again, I can break down 2 hits in a game in any way you want, but it's going to be very, very, very hard to win a game when you have a base hit from your leadoff hitter, Fernando Tatis Jr., you have a base hit for Martin Maldonado in your number 9 spot, a single from Tatis, a single from Maldonado, and then the 7 batters in between, the number 1 and number 9 batters in your lineup takeovers. I mean, that's just going to be a very, very hard game to win, and that's the way it went here tonight. Padres just didn't have anything going. Offensively, I thought Mike Shildt was right about Dylan Cease. Never really got in a great rhythm in this game. Even look at the way it started. Double, walk, single, boom, just like that. The Pirates at a 1-0 lead, settles in a little bit, scoreless second, scoreless third, gets the first 2 outs of the 4th inning. Felt like he was settling in there, but then gives up a 2-out double, RBI single, makes it 2-0 Pittsburgh. Solo home runs Andrew McCutchen in the 5th inning, makes it 3-0. So there was a little while there where it seemed like Cease was settling in, but again, the overall outing, 4 2/3 innings. I mean, again, this was one of these games where Dylan threw a lot of pitches in a really short amount of time. Dylan Cease threw 95 pitches in 4 2/3 innings. And we've seen this at times this season from Dylan where he throws a lot of pitches in less than 5 innings. In fact, the start he made against the Pirates in early May in Pittsburgh was very similar. He threw 91 pitches in 4 innings, gave up 2 earned runs. Again, it was a start where he kept the Padres in the game, but he just threw a ton of pitches in just 4 innings. And this was kind of similar today. Again, 95 pitches in 4 2/3 innings. That's just too many. So, again, was Dylan Cease great tonight? No, the bullpen for the most part was good. But anytime you have no runs on 2 hits, guess what? It's impossible to win a game. And to me, that is the highlight of this game from a Padres standpoint, or not really a highlight, but the thing you highlight. And it was just a very quiet day for the Padres offense, the kind of game we saw a number of times really during that 6-game losing skid. And you kind of hope the Padres put a night like this against a bad team behind them. But unfortunately, a tough one here tonight as the Pirates win it 5-0. When we come back, we'll get into our daily awards. If you want to get a phone call in, discuss tonight's game, you can do that as always at 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973, the phone number to dial if you want to get involved. Again, the Pirates win it 5-0 in the middle game of this 3-game series. Our postgame coverage continues after this on the Padres Radio Network. Hope you had a nice night at the game. All right. We had a visitor here inside the loft. 5-0. The Pirates beat the Padres as the Padres drop the middle game of this 3-game series. We'll continue to break this one down. If you want to get a phone call in, discuss tonight's game, you can do that at 833-288-0973. Again, the phone number to call, 833-288-0973. If you want to chime in, you can also find me on X at Sammy Lev, SAMMYLEV. Instagram DM's open as well. Sammy Lev there too. You can also comment on the 97.3 The Fan YouTube stream if you want to watch our post-game coverage. For the TikTokers out there, it's Sammy Levitt, SAMMYLEVITT, if you want to chime in about tonight's game. There was certainly a bright spot of tonight's game. Let's tell you about it with our relief pitcher of the game.
Which pitcher entered the game and slammed the door shut? This is today's relief pitcher of the game, presented by David P. Shapiro Criminal Defense Attorneys. When your freedom and future are on the line, you need the best arm in the pen. Visit davidpshapirolaw.com.
3-2 to O'Neal Cruz. The pitch from Rodriguez is taken on the inside corner. Strike 3 call. First Major League K for Bradley Rodriguez. And it's a good one. Freezes O'Neal Cruz to end the 8th inning and strand a couple of guys on base.
Bradley Rodriguez with his first major league strikeout. You heard the call by Jesse there of O'Neal Cruz on a 4-seam fastball clocked at 98 miles per hour on the inner part of the plate, scraping the bottom part of the zone. An excellent, really, debut for Bradley Rodriguez. Inning and 2/3 scoreless. Walked one, struck out one, 25 pitches, had some trouble throwing strikes at times, only 11 strikes in this outing. But you know what? The thing you'll remember, inning and 2/3 scoreless and kept it a 5-0 deficit at the time. So did what he needed to do and got 5 outs over the course of a couple of innings, had an up-down in his major league debut, and I thought the stuff looked good. Obviously had a little issues with command, but that's probably to be expected in a major league debut with the nerves running high, but really nice debut. And look, this is somebody in Bradley Rodriguez who, in my opinion, this is not a guy that the Padres have brought up with the plans of him just being somebody that comes up for a little bit and goes back down. If Bradley Rodriguez can get guys out, he is the kind of guy who has the type of stuff that could be here for the long term. I really believe that. The Padres sort of intimated that going back to spring training when he was still in Major League camp for an extended period of time in Major League camp, so long that you started to wonder if he could actually make the Major League team. I actually don't think he was that far away from making the opening day roster. And then you look at what he did with Double-A San Antonio, especially his last 13 outings or so. We went over it yesterday in the pregame coverage. He's been really good. The stuff is really good. He's got an electric fastball. This is a potential, if he pans out, back end of the bullpen type of guy. Very young, obviously, made his major league debut tonight. And congratulations to Bradley Rodriguez, who not only went an inning and 2/3 scoreless, and again, was he perfect? No, but he got through it. And in your major league debut, to me, that's plenty good enough. But really a nice kid as well. Had the opportunity to talk to him a lot during spring training, talked to him yesterday inside the clubhouse, and I think has the potential to be a big-time arm in this Padre bullpen. Obviously young, obviously just getting his feet wet, so we'll see what the future holds for Bradley Rodriguez, but he's an arm with a lot of promise, so very good to see him make his major league debut, and certainly a very nice silver lining for the Padres in this 5-0 defeat against the Pittsburgh Pirates. We'll step aside. When we come back, we'll highlight some of the good defense in this game from the Padres. We'll have a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard coming up a little bit later as well. We'll wrap things up, get you ready for tomorrow a little bit later, too. Again, phone number if you want to get involved, 833-288-0973. Final score, Pirates 5 and the Padres nothing. Our post-game coverage continues after this. Welcome back to the Jamul Casino Resort postgame show, brought to you by the all-new Jamul Casino Resort. Players, kickstart your summer of fun with Jamul Casino Resort's Players Party, Saturday, June 14th. Sam Levitt with you inside the loft here at the Western Metal Building at Petco Park as we continue to wrap this one up. Final score, the Pirates 5 and the Padres nothing. Padres dropped to 32-24 on the year. Pirates improved to 22-37. Padres do have an opportunity to still win a third consecutive series tomorrow here in downtown San Diego when they send right-hander Randy Vasquez to the mound. And we'll hear from Randy on the post-game, or I should say, pre-game coverage tomorrow. But Randy has been, you really look at the overall numbers here, very, very good as of late. He's got a 3.58 ERA on the year. If you go back his last 5 starts, a 2.89 ERA. In fact, if you go back his last 4 starts, it gets even better. The ERA actually, the 3.13. The thing that gets better, though, in his last 4 starts, and we'll ask him about this tomorrow, you'll hear that conversation, he's only walked 3 batters in his last 23 innings. And the reason that's so important and impressive for Randy Vasquez is you look at his first 7 outings of the year, he walked 24 in 32 plus innings. So again, 24 walks in his first 7 starts of the season and 3 walks in his last 4. So Randy's had much, much better command. He's been good. He's found ways to get out of trouble in kind of classic Randy Vasquez fashion. And again, we'll hear from Randy Vasquez on our pregame coverage tomorrow. Talk to him about the improved command, the lack of walks, getting out of trouble. So you'll want to hear that tomorrow. And Randy Vasquez certainly will have to play a big role in the Padres now winning this 3-game series against the Pirates before the Padres head to San Francisco for a series beginning on Monday. Padres did have some good defensive moments in this game. Let's hear one of them.
Which defensive play had the biggest impact on today's game?
He is at the wall, leaps up, and he makes the catch.
This is the catch of the game.
Gonna hang a star for Jackson Merrill.
Reeled in by Anthony's Fish Grotto La Mesa, celebrating 80 years of seafood excellence.
It's here. Frazier swings, hits it in the air to deep right center field. Long run, Fernando on the move. He'll get there to make the running catch. Covered an awful lot of ground in not a lot of time. And 2 outs here in the 6th inning.
Nice play by Fernando Tatis Jr., recording the 2nd out of the 6th inning on the ball off the bat of former Padre Adam Frazier. Nice play by Nando, tonight's catch of the game. Although I should mention really what became a very critical play in this game. In the bottom half of the 1st inning, Pirates had taken a 1-0 lead with a run in the top of the 1st. Padres got a leadoff single by Fernando Tatis Jr. He went to 2nd on a bunt, went to 3rd base on a stolen base, and then Jackson Merrill with 2 outs sent a sinking liner into left field. And Alexander Canario came racing in on it and made a really nice catch, getting the ball just before it could hit the outfield grass. If Canario doesn't get to it, then it's a base hit for Merrill. Tatis scores, and we've got a tie game at 1 in the bottom half of the 1st inning. So that was a really, really nice play and certainly a very impactful defensive play. I mean, who knows how this game turns out offensively if the Padres can just get it going a little bit in that 1st inning, but Canario made that play, and from that point on, the Padres had 1 other hit, 1 single in this game in the 3rd. Again, the Padres didn't have another hit after the 3rd. They only had runners in scoring position in 2 innings. They had Tatis on 2nd and then 3rd in the 1st inning. They had runners on 1st and 2nd in the 8th inning. That was it here tonight. Again, Tatis 1 hit, Maldonado 1 hit, both singles, the 7 batters in between them. From the 1 to the 9 spot, offers here tonight, including an 0-for-2 for Luis Campusano, who, by the way, got pinch hit for in the 8th inning, righty for righty pinch hit spot in that 8th inning. And Campusano still does not have a hit when he's been up with the Major League club. Luis 0-for-13 now, so tough times for him, continuing to DH a little bit. We'll see if Campy's in there tomorrow, but again, I'm not trying to single out one guy. It was everybody in the lineup here tonight. It really was. It was everybody in the lineup here tonight, kind of struggling. And like I've said a handful of times, If Brian Reynolds delivers an RBI single in the first inning here tonight, makes it 1-0 Pirates, and the Padres have the same exact offensive game, no runs on 2 hits, Padres still lose this game. So it gives you a little perspective on kind of how things went here tonight. We'll step aside when we come back. Full look at the out-of-town scoreboard. We'll also have our play of the game. We will wrap things up, get you all set for tomorrow for the series finale. Again, the final here tonight. Pirates 5, Padres nothing. Our post-game coverage continues after these words. Back here on the Padres Radio Network from inside the Western Metal Building here at Petco Park. Sam Levitt with you on our Jamul Casino Resort Padres post-game show. Final score, Pirates 5 and the Padres nothing. Another great crowd here at Petco Park tonight. 25th sellout of the season, 42,000 plus in the building, but unfortunately Padres lose tonight 5-0, setting up a rubber match of this 3-game series. Tomorrow, right-hander Randy Vasquez on the mound for the Padres tomorrow. We'll tell you more about that game coming up in just a little while. By the way, the Padres do wrap up a 6-game homestand tomorrow. Then it's on the road for a 6-game road trip. 7-game road trip, 4 in San Francisco and then 3 in Milwaukee. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday in the Bay Area, then 3 games Friday, Saturday, and Sunday against the Brewers before the Padres return home to face the Dodgers on Monday, June 9th. So that's the first time the Padres and Dodgers will face one another. Then the Diamondbacks come to town, or I should say, they go to Arizona after that. So first time the Padres will face both the Dodgers and the Diamondbacks coming up in the next week or so. And you look at things, this is going to be a tough stretch, no doubt about it. We've talked about the 26 games in 27 days, and the Padres are now 2 games into that stretch. They are 1-1. And hey, one of the reasons you got to really try to win tomorrow's game is because you got to take advantage in this stretch of playing against subpar teams. Pirates came into tonight's game 21-37. This is not a good baseball team. There's no doubt about it. And after tomorrow's game, again, 4 against San Francisco, 3 at Milwaukee, 3 against the Dodgers, 3 in Arizona, 4 against the Dodgers on the road, 3 against Kansas City, 3 against Washington. It is a really, really tough 26-game stretch that the Padres are now in the midst of. They're 2 games into this stretch, and quite frankly, in this stretch, I think no doubt the Pirates are the worst team they're going to play, and they're playing them right now, and now they're going to go at best 2-1 against them. So if you want to understand why winning tomorrow and winning a series against the Pirates is important, well, in this particular stretch, it really feels that way, because you don't want to be losing series to, and again, no disrespect to the Pirates, but it is what it is. The record is what it is. You don't want to lose a series to the Pirates tomorrow, bottom line. So we'll see if the Padres can get it done tomorrow and then move on to the road trip beginning in San Francisco on Monday. Speaking of San Francisco and the rest of the other 28 Major League teams that played tonight, let's take a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard.
The line between winning and losing. Let's take a trip around the bigs to highlight the scores that matter most with our out-of-town scoreboard. Presented by Jensen Premium Beef Patties. Always a hit for grilling.
We take a look at scores from around the major leagues. The Cubs beat the Reds earlier today 2-0 at Wrigley. Blue Jays beat the A's 8-7 in Toronto. The Orioles beat the White Sox 4-2 in Baltimore. Brewers beat up on the Phillies tonight 17-7 in Philadelphia. Cardinals beat the Rangers 2-0 in Arlington. Guardians beat the Angels 7-5 in Cleveland. The Braves beat the Red Sox 5-0 in Atlanta. Ronald Acuna Jr., Austin Riley hit home runs in that game for Atlanta. Mets beat the Rockies 8-2 in New York. Marlins beat the Giants 1-0 in Miami. Royals beat the Tigers 1-0 in Kansas City. Rays beat the Astros 16-3 in Houston. The Mariners beat the Twins in 11. Bottom of the 11th inning, Cole Young, a walk-off fielder's choice for Seattle as they beat Minnesota 5-4 at home in 11. Dodgers beat the Yankees. They beat them up 18-2 in LA. So the Dodgers win yesterday. They win today against the Yankees. Max Muncy, 2 home runs in that Dodger win. 21 hits for LA in that game. And then finally, just a crazy game in Arizona tonight. The Nationals beat the Diamondbacks 11-7. The Nationals had a 10-run first inning. Brandon Pfaadt, the Arizona starting pitcher, did not record an out. The Nationals sent 11 batters to the plate and scored 9 runs before they recorded a single out in the first inning. Let me repeat that because I've never seen anything like it. 11 batters to the plate, 9 runs scored before there was an out, not just in the inning, in the game. It was the top of the first inning, and it was 9-0 before the Diamondbacks got an out, and the Nationals go on to win it 11-7. My goodness, what a start for the Nationals today, and that's the way it went in Arizona. That is a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard. Again, the final score here in San Diego tonight, the Pirates 5 and the Padres 0. From the offensive standpoint, I'll be honest about it, not really any candidates for our play of the game, but we'll stick on the bright side here tonight. Why not? We can. Let's give you our play of the game.
The line between winning and losing can be razor thin. Which play was the difference between victory and defeat? This is today's play of the game, presented by Bill Howe Plumbing, Heating, and Air.
And he inherits a sticky wicket here with 2 on, 1 out. 1-0 pitch, little tapper back to the mound. Rodriguez has it, fires to second, 1. Cronenworth to first, in time, and a double play. Oh, what a debut for Bradley Rodriguez. A 1-4-3 double play to end the top of the 7th inning.
Very nice job by Bradley Rodriguez. Threw 2 pitches in that 7th inning and then spun a 1-4-3 double play to get out of trouble. Kept it a 5-0 game, so certainly did his job after inheriting a couple of runners in that 7th inning. And I'll tell you what, the other very impressive thing about that play for Rodriguez, about that moment, that sequence for Rodriguez, you got to think about it. Guy making his major league debut. Comes in, he's thrown 1 pitch, he throws his 2nd pitch, gets a comebacker to the mound, and let's be honest, we see pitchers mess up on comebackers all the time, and specifically throws down to second base on a potential double play ball. We see it all the time, and Rodriguez was calm, was composed, took his time, fielded it cleanly, spun, and threw a perfect strike to second base to ignite that 1-4-3 double play. So that was really nice by Bradley Rodriguez. Really, really was. I know the line in the open about winning, losing, but hey, sometimes on a night like this, we go with the positives. So we'll give a little extra shine to Bradley Rodriguez on the Padres side of things. Obviously, all the offense here tonight came via the Pittsburgh Pirates, who go on to win it 5-0. As always, if you missed any portion of our post-game coverage, you can go back and listen to all of it on the Inside San Diego Baseball podcast with Sam Levitt, available on the Odyssey app or wherever you find your podcast. If you would rather go back and watch any portion of our post-game coverage on the 97.3 The Fan YouTube channel, you can do that as well. In fact, if you missed our radio highlights or Mike Shildt's post-game thoughts, they're already up on the Inside San Diego Baseball podcast feed, courtesy, and I do want to give him a special shout out tonight, courtesy of not only our brand manager, but tonight's studio coordinator, Adam Klug, who filled in on the board for tonight's game and my shows on very, very short notice on a Saturday. Great job by Adam. Always a team player, always willing to do whatever needs to be done to keep the station rolling and strong. So great job by Adam Klug back in studio today. And not only was he, but I mean, he's posting podcasts, he's doing social media. Adam Klug, the content radio machine. Great job by Adam today. Taking a look ahead to tomorrow, left-hander Andrew Heaney on the mound for the Pirates, right-hander Randy Vasquez on the mound for the Padres. First pitch at 2:10 p.m., a little bit later than usual on a Sunday, 2:10 p.m. with the first pitch time, and we'll talk to you with our pregame coverage at 1:10. Until then, for our great studio coordinator, Adam Klug, I'm Sam Levitt saying so long and good night from Petco Park. Again, the final score here tonight, the Pittsburgh Pirates 5 and the San Diego Padres 0. We'll talk to you tomorrow on the Padres Radio Network.
Thanks for joining us for the Jamul Casino Resort Padres postgame.